So make sure I'm live. Make sure it sounds okay. Hello. I need to hear myself. Let me pause this jam. Make sure I can hear myself okay. Okay. That sounds pretty good to me at least. So yeah. Wait for people to show up before I begin. And check the chat on my phone. So I want to see if this is actually copyright-free music. If not, this is going to be edited out later. I'm like trying to find cool music that's copyright-free. Hey, Professor. Hello, everybody. Hey, Allie. That bass drop, though. It's like really loud. So, while we wait for people, I kind of want to go over just some cool stuff, I guess. But I also wanted to react to someone's video today. His name is Didi. I wanted to react to his latest video. Let me see. It's titled... Oh, we'll go over the title later because I wanted to discuss some topics beforehand. But let me know if you guys can hear everything okay and if anything needs to be different. Hey, Destiny. How are you? Hey, Heaven. How's everybody doing? How's your guys' Saturday? My Saturday is pretty chill. Cool. I'm glad. I had to set up this whole OBS thing today. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The last OBS I had was for Sims. By the way, guys, I don't know if you guys were on my channel a few months ago, but I've stopped streaming for a while until recently I decided I wanted to again. But the last OBS that I did set up and streaming was the Sims game, The Sims 4. But I don't know. I don't feel like people liked it too much, except for when I had my friend, the Morning Omelet, here. And he played this role, Fate or whatever, and he'd come into the game and he'd give the game some challenges and stuff like that. So if you have seen it, let me know if you guys want that to come back. And if you haven't seen it, I'll link something in the description box for you guys for later on. Okay, so yeah. Now I feel like everybody who's going to be here is going to be here to start off. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. I've been thinking about making a Patreon, but I don't know if I should make a Patreon because I just don't know if I would produce enough content. But I also know the new guidelines for YouTube, the TOS, is changing, and I wanted to be able to just express myself freely without feeling like I'm gonna be taken down. Let me look at the chat really quick. Hey, Life's Trenches. Awesome. So let me know if you guys would like to see a Patreon. I would more than likely produce videos that obviously could not go on YouTube. And I'd actually be able to express the way that I talk in there rather than having to censor it so much. Hey, Optimus Prime. Hey, Blueberry Muffins. Hope you guys are all doing great. So yeah, let me know. I mean, I can also do requests and shout outs on the Patreon. I won't charge barely anything because I think that's ridiculous. I'm not anything special on YouTube, so there's no reason I'd have to charge more than what, $1 I think is the basic one, $1. So yeah, and then maybe up to $5. I feel like that's really, really good. Let me know if you guys think that that's a good idea in the chat. I would definitely love to express myself more freely due to everything being demonetized. I mean, not everything being demonetized, but a lot of things are demonetized, and it sucks because it's I don't know, it just feels so censored, and it feels so just, I don't, maybe this is wrong to say, but sometimes it feels like YouTube picks and chooses who they like, and like that could be crazy, but who knows. So yeah, maybe I'll just start setting that up. I don't really know. I'll think about it. So then I wanted to discuss some other things aside from that, but let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. How are you doing, Heaven? How's Petunia? How's Petunia doing? So this lady in the chat, guys, Heaven, has a pet skunk. And it is the cutest. She's like the most adorable thing ever. And like Heaven dresses her up and it's just so cute. There's Professor Winter said there's honestly no harm in setting up a Patreon. You should do it. Okay, I mean I'll definitely do it. Like I just want to be more free. Like I feel so like bound in chains by YouTube. It's kind of sad. Blueberry Muffin says Petunia is adorable. Well, yeah, back to what I was saying, Heaven has a pet skunk. I literally adore this pet skunk. Like, I'm not even kidding you. She is the cutest thing ever, especially when Heaven dresses her up in like these cute little dresses and like sends pictures and stuff. It's the most adorable thing. Heaven sent me the cutest Christmas card I've ever had in my life. Like, I love cards, and like I actually cherish cards. I keep like all my cards. I'm like a hoarder of cards. And she sent me this beautiful handmade Christmas card that literally just like pops up in layers, and it was crazy because I was like, whoa, like you like stretch it out over and like set it down and it like balances, and it's like this cute like 3D looking thing. I should get it, but I don't know, maybe next time. Petunia is much better, thanks. Awesome, I'm so glad. Yeah, I was worried. It's always terrifying when a pet gets a little ill or anything like that. I have a really old cat. His name is Isotope, and he's my oldest pet. Oh my gosh, it's just sad to see them get older because like you've seen them, well, for me in particular, I saw this cat obviously as a kitten, so it's just like all the phases of life. If you guys like go to my Discord, the link's in the description box below. I send pictures in there all the time, and like occasionally I'll post them on my Twitter, and the @ handle I think is in there as well. If not, I'll add it. Professor Winter said, that's so cool. It is. It's really cool. Like, she showed me these cards like that she makes. There's like hundreds, and they're just not any one of them is the same. Literally, each one is different. So I was like, wow, what a good like little hobby to have. What a cool thing. So, yeah. Don't forget, if you guys haven't already, to like up the stream. It really helps me out. It really does. But yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is an Onision like posting update. So it kind of goes back to the Patreon. I have found that obviously with the new TOS that posting about Onision and the ongoings of what's going on, aside from doing the Chris Hansen interview highlights that I do, which I think are really cool. I mean, I like watching highlight videos. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes don't have all the time in the world right away to watch the whole entire original videos, especially if they're like over an hour long. So that's where I got the idea for that. Hey September, I love your name, and your profile photo is so beautiful. How are you doing? That was so sweet, your message. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the Onision like updates. So I wanted to do updates outside of just the highlights and reviews, but I've been hesitant because of the new TOS. So that is something that I want to know if you guys want to know and or be updated on through either Patreon or something like that, or just maybe like once a month. I feel like is okay because it's not like repetitive, and I'm gonna have other content going in between. But yeah, just let me know if like different ongoings of what's going on is something you guys are interested in, from my channel at least. I know there's like a lot of different channels that are covering it, but for me, I feel like my perspective is different because I am, well, I'm just gonna be blunt with this. I, about 11 years ago, went through a very serious situation where I had to legally take on, my mother and me had to legally take on somebody for sexual assault that had happened to me. I'm like so awkward talking about this. Ugh, I'm like nervous, but whatever. Yeah, I'll just try to puke it out the best I can. Wow, that's a weird analogy. Good job, Taylor, making a fool of yourself. It always happens. It's okay though. But so yeah, I wanted to just like give a different perspective on like surviving that type of it. So I don't know, I feel like being able to give that opinion and that perspective and things that maybe not the average Onision situation and Kai, YouTube channel, I guess, or coverage does. So we love you, Professor Winter said. I'm so sorry I was so awkward with that, guys. It's really, really hard to talk about. Ugh, I was all over the place with that, but I felt like maybe you guys got it. Optimus Prime says, I think that's a brilliant idea. Well, thank you. I will try to put something together a little more articulate when I can. So yeah, those are some goals that I have. Let me know if you guys want any other coverage of anything else on this channel. I've been thinking about doing the Stephanie Sue and Nikocado Avocado, but I don't know. There's so many like channels doing it. I feel like it's oversaturated, but I don't know. It's just really weird. That whole situation. I don't know if you guys know who those people are. They're mukbangers. They're noodle. Like, do you guys remember when I did my spicy noodle challenge? I'm sure some of you in this chat do. And so yeah, they do that like often. They eat like lots of noodles. Let's talk about Greg and Vince. Just returned from the holidays, September said. So I had to check in with my fave channel. Oh, I'm sorry about what happened to you. It happened to me too. Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. Like, I just find it a beautiful thing though that we're like, I'm building this community and connection with you guys based off of like sharing our stories, connecting through stuff, and just communicating through that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Despite like the tragedies of life, at least that can come of it, and that to me is like everything, because it's like I really don't talk with a lot of people about that situation, so to feel like I'm not like alone in my experience is really cool. I am going to get into Deity's video. We're going to review that, and we're going to go over some stuff. Greg, I really just want to know more about the FBI investigation, but I also know that they can't, like the FBI can't necessarily just be like, oh, here's a Twitter update on the investigation for you guys. I know, it's just kind of like we're gonna have to wait. It's like really, really difficult. Your eyebrows are on fleek. Thank you so much. You don't even know how long I took doing these today. It was like horrible. My skin has been horrible lately. Brittany says, honestly, whatever you do, I'll watch. That is so sweet. Like, you're so sweet, Brittany. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, the Greg situation. I wanted to dive into some topics on Kai, but I want to know if that's something you guys want to hear or see. I mean, I know you guys are like, I'll watch you, and like, that's so sweet. I'm so thankful for you guys. It's just like, I want to make sure that I'm not like overdoing it, because I don't want it to seem like that's what my channel is just about. Like, I want to make this a safer space, or at least a safe space for some people just to come and, I don't know, get information about what that situation is looking like right now. And the last couple of Chris Hansen streams, I have really, really valued the individuals that they're bringing up onto the stream, because it's giving different types of, manipulation and different types of abuse. And I think that every single person that has been hurt is someone that we can obviously learn from and support. And it's just good to spread that awareness that it's not just like the other stuff, but while that stuff is absolutely 100% important, there's also so many other types of pain that have gone on from these creators. I'm look at the chat really quick. I like you. You're nice. You make good content. Thank you so much. Even though Greg himself seems to think he's the center of the universe. Sorry, I missed a comment. Oh yes, I get it. There's more going on in the world than just Greg. Even though Greg himself thinks he's the center of the universe. Yeah, like there's so many other creators out there that are really, really dangerous, that use their platforms to attack other people or manipulate other people, and it's just a really, really big thing. And I'm just really happy that this is being brought to light in more of like a public way, rather than just like the few creators that used to do it. Like obviously there's Jacqueline Glenn and Blair White has done a few, and Repsion. Like those are really great creators. They have really great opinions. But it's so covered now that all sorts of opinions can come out, and things that you didn't think about, and things maybe that you didn't see beforehand that are coming from a different creator. So I think that's really, really good. I think that the more people don't let these things slide under the rug, and the more that we face it head on, the less likely that this is going to happen as often. Now, I'm going to bring my opinion to the table here. You know, the internet is a really, really dangerous place, but it can also be a pretty good place too. But it just takes a lot of work, and to keep yourself safe, not only to keep yourself safe, but to also help protect others. So in 2019, I've learned more about keeping myself safe on the internet and learning how to protect myself, like through like a VPN, and just making sure that like all my social media is on private, or even going as far as like deleting some social media that I don't really need. And learning through unfortunate experiences, like certain experiences I won't really mention right now, but yeah, it's just a really, I don't know, it can be good, but it can also be very dangerous. And the more that we bring awareness to things, the less likely they're to happen as often. Unfortunately though, because the internet is so big, and obviously it's like massive, you know, there are always going to be the bad sides. There's always going to be, you know, the negative parts to it, but we can do a little at a time each time to make it a little better. Read the chat for a second. Yes, please talk about Kai. I'm starting to think Kai has been disturbed since before Greg. So I'll be real. I found Kai on YouNow. It was like 2.5 years ago, and at first I really kind of like liked the content. I was like, oh, she's cool, she listens to music. And then I started obviously noticing that there was drama, and I was very lost in it for a while, until I started like putting piece by piece together and watching other commentators on that situation, and I started just, you know, putting it together. But then like I really, with this whole thing, like with the Chris Hansen stuff, I really, really agree with you there, because I have seen more of her behavior, that was horrible, I'm sorry, I don't mean to misgender at all, but his behavior, I have seen more of his behavior being just as malicious and calculated as Greg's. And I, at first, to be honest, and I'm just being real here, I thought it was just Greg. Like I thought, oh, he's doing all of this, you know, and she's condoning it, which is also wrong, but I didn't quite see this side of the story with Sarah and, you know, Billy and all of that. I mean, I obviously saw stuff with Billy, like the coverage that was out there, but I didn't get to see and hear it from like a different perspective a couple of years later. So when I had obviously watched the Chris Hansen interviews, it's really opened my eyes to the manipulative tactics that Kai himself brings to the table. So while I don't want to I don't know, try to give coverage on something that I feel like I'm not well educated in, I also feel like there's a lot of people that are leaving Kai himself out of a lot of the coverage. And I've seen some really, really good ones, like Marie Munsterfuls. She is such a great content creator. I watched her video on Kai and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. She's really getting the topics out there and opinions out there and things that I didn't even think about or notice really. Doctor says they seem to keep of having Stevie Wolf on they seem to keep Stevie Wolf off of the show or on the show. But maybe you could interview Stevie Wolf or you guys could talk. I think it would be very interesting if Stevie's up for it. I would love to talk to him. He seems really, really cool and I like his opinions. I would love to reach out. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know if he'll want to talk to me about it, but if he does, I'll totally try to work that out. Greg and Kai are two peas in a pod. I agree. And like, it makes me embarrassed that I watched him. I watched Kai, you know, it makes me embarrassed that I donated through YouNow and at first thought that they were cool, I guess, like, until obviously I saw very alarming behavior. It was just really, I think the first thing I saw that was super, super weird to me and really just nasty behavior was when Greg would attack Eugenia Cuny and he would attack Jacqueline Glenn. And like, I was into that whole thing with the social repose stuff and the Jacqueline Glenn and the fighting back and forth. It was like, obviously, like, some drama on YouTube is kind of, you know, for entertainment, I guess, like, in a way. But then, like, you really see the malicious intent behind it once you just, like, open your eyes to it. And you're, like, not just watching for the entertainment value, you're watching more for educational. Professor says, Stevie is super nice. He'll at least respond if you approach him, even if he says no. Yeah, definitely, I'll reach out to him. That would be really, really cool. I honestly have worked with a couple of content creators, and most every experience has been really, really cool. Most. Keyword. Most. My experience with RSN, not so much. The Eugenia Cuny thing Greg did was deplorable. I absolutely agree. My goodness. Like, I don't even know quite how to articulate the words of attacking somebody like he did with her. That was just absolutely disgusting. Midnight Oil says, Stevie is alive. Oh, cool. So yeah, today we're going to react and talk about some of, not all of, the deity stream. I know I mentioned it a couple of times. I do want to just kind of put it towards the end of the stream. Let's see, I've been live for, I don't even know, 22 minutes now, or around 30 minutes. So I only want to really be live for like a little while longer. I don't want to like take up too much of your guys' time. Thing is though, I did watch this stream obviously previous to playing it on here for you guys, and I'm sure you guys have also watched it. I know, Professor, you're often chatting in the chats as well. I feel for him on this particular subject, the RSN subject. I want to preface a little something here. I have a lot of new people in the chat that don't necessarily know that I was in RSN's community for a little over a year, and I guess I owe it to the new people because I really don't have that content or any information about him much aside from I think 2 videos on my channel, and both of them are in reactions to bad actions that he's done. But in that time period, I just want to catch any new subscribers or new viewers up. So when I first started YouTube, I had like I think 400 subscribers, and I saw him on YouNow. That's where I originally found RSN, covering the Jacqueline Glenn social repose, stuff like that, aka stealing the content and just re-uploading it. And then his like, not all of it, but some of the drama that he had on YouNow. And I'm going to be very clear that I didn't see a lot of stuff on YouNow. So I want to make that very clear. Before I had decided to reach out to him, I didn't truly know the depths of his character at that point, because, you know, streams were removed and he was a really small channel. He still is a very, very, very small channel. I believe he's only got like 10,000 subscribers, but still at that time period, a little over a year ago, it was much, much smaller than what it is now. So I reached out and I asked for a potential collaboration. The collaboration idea was a tarot reading on my channel, and he said yes, and I won't go into too much details because it's a very, very long story. But the collaboration happened, and then I guess things just sort of died off. Like, we weren't best buddies. I wasn't in his Discord, like nothing like that. I did go to him occasionally for YouTube advice, but I also just would watch his content and I guess not like piece by piece every minute, but I did catch some of his live streams. I caught some of the Joy Sparkle stuff. About, I don't know, like 6 months after that collaboration, I went on his channel to talk about Amberlynn Reid and how I feel that people sometimes unfairly give commentary on her, and they're sometimes just very rude and it's unnecessary. And at that time I had just done a video on covering another person who has Amberlynn Reid reactions and stuff like that, and on that stream itself he had like this Joy Sparkle situation that went down, and it was just a lot that happened with that Joy Sparkle situation. It was just kind of just really uncomfortable, I'm not even gonna lie. But after that, it was like the new year, and at this point, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm going, like, kind of glossing over just because, like, it's not the time or place for that story yet. But the new year happens, and he obviously streamed some very inappropriate stuff around late February, early March was when this incident occurred. And he streamed, like we talked about in the last live streams, just some really inappropriate stuff that hurt a lot of people. And at that point, he used, I guess let me backtrack a little. The day that he did it, okay? The day before he did it, I was contacted by a mutual friend at the time from like the chats, and we had done a podcast together. I'm going to leave her name out of it just for her protection and her like privacy, because I just don't think that that's something I want to do, like name drop and stuff without checking. But regardless, long story short, she came to me and she was worried, and she had let me know that he was blackmailing and threatening her to release photos and all sorts of just horrible things that she had described about what was going on. I contacted CJ and told him, don't do that. Absolutely, this is horrible. Please don't do this. Like, rethink what you're threatening here, etc., etc. He didn't listen to me. He did it anyway that following night, early in the morning. And the next morning I woke up to chaos, rightfully so, as I had previously explained just a very tiny bit. So at that point, I began to reach into more of, I guess, things that have been going on in the community that I was involved in. Because like I said, only talked to particularly one person, and that person was the one who called me and let me know what was going on behind the scenes that I didn't know previously. And I just began to talk to, obviously, like I said, people have been hurt by him. And I really just, the veil kind of lifted. Like, I was like, wow, this guy's really horrible. And like, yes, I've heard things, and yes, I've seen some negative streams and where he like goes off and on a tangent and stuff like that. But I figure, it's YouTube drama, it's commentary. I figured that was something that happens occasionally. Well, I relate to deity in one way that is kind of discussed on how he's feeling after his like stream or whatever. So I relate to deity because at that time that I was talking with everybody from his past community, RSN's past community, basically RSN was ghosting everybody. He hadn't responded to anybody who had contact with him, who had seen what he had streamed the night before. He hadn't posted on Twitter. He hadn't acknowledged the pain that he was causing and the wrongdoings that he was doing, and nobody could get a hold of him that anybody that I was talking to knew of or seen or heard. So I decided at that point that the doors are closed. There was no, like, I'm not going to be friends with somebody who could do that to people. And although I was missing a lot of part of the story at the time because there was two people, I didn't see the stream, by the way, but there was two people. I only talked to one. So there was a lot that I was missing, but I was trying to gather that information as quickly as possible to get the full picture. Regardless, I still knew at that time I was not going to associate. And of course, I was waiting for, just like everybody else, for just some sort of response, some sort of accountability, but none was really taken. So I decided at this point to stream with a couple of people from his community that had been hurt. Well, just like similar to Didi and how he was feeling, like, things kind of just tumbled, I guess, like a snowball effect, which it did. But I felt this way because RSN called me in the middle of my stream and took, I guess, my channel as an opportunity to take somewhat, which is absolutely, it's not even somewhat, it was horrible, and it was a horrible attempt for accountability. It was the worst worst way he could have ever addressed what he did, honestly. He came on and he was big-headed and rude and denying things and saying things and accusing people, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't quite know what to do. I didn't react the best. I should have never streamed that night. I should have never even answered the phone call with him because RSN and what he had done. Really bad. What I will say, though, is the simple fact, like, maybe the situations aren't completely related with Didi, like, but I do know the aftermath of the situation. So, although Didi's situation is a lot different, feeling overwhelmed and making, a couple of mistakes on how, I guess, I handled it. I saw this kind of coming when I saw Didi's Twitter. Now, Didi, like, he is newer to YouTube, and I was newer to YouTube at that time, so I should have just shut things down, like my Twitter. I shouldn't have responded to my Twitter at that time. There were some mistakes that I made, some bridges that I burned. Still a lot of regrets to this day on how I handled things. But I look back on it now, and I think, like, I could give some advice, like, regarding just what to do. And, like, I feel like taking a time, or maybe like 3 or 4 days, a break away from maybe Twitter. I mean, like things if you want, Didi, and if you're seeing this, like, please don't take offense to this, because I think your commentary on the Onision stuff was really, really cool. Like, for me, I should have, as a person, just taken a break away from Twitter, and I shouldn't have streamed continually again the next day. But, I mean, it is, of course, your choice. You have a bigger fan base, and respect that completely. You have a lot of support as well, which is cool. I did not have a lot of support at the time, and it was due to some of my actions on Twitter at the time. Like, I was not reacting in an appropriate way. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give you a preface on how I am connected to RSN. And unfortunately, looking back on 2019, there was so many things that I, like, streamed about and, like, tweeted about that were just not cool of me. And it was a really, really big learning experience for me. But I also do want to take accountability for some of the things that I did that were wrong. And some of that being, obviously, snapping at some people, closing, the doors on people who just wanted to try to get to know me or get my, like, side of the story or something like that. I just really didn't react the best. Well, I mean, like, I will say, though, Didi has reacted to, like, the influx of, like, criticism and stuff a lot better than I ever did, which I think is really cool, because it's like, he's such a newer creator, and he got so many followers so fast. I was just like, dang, like, you're doing really good. Whereas me, I did not. So let me check the chat before we go into reviewing his video. Nice cast. I don't have a cast. I don't think I have a cast. A break from the internet is imperative for the mental state. And I absolutely agree, September. Like, I really should have at that time, because it was so emotional for me. Like, I couldn't change what RSN did. Although I wanted to, and I wanted to fix it, that was what I got caught up in, was trying to fix it all. Like, I'm a fixer. So, like, I tried to bring awareness to the RSN situation in the first few weeks, and then fix everything for what had happened on my channel, and RSN taking accountability, and knowing that he was using my channel for something that he should have been doing on his own, because he was the one who streamed these things, and he was the one who did the actions that, of course, affected so many people in such a painful and hurtful way. But I just wasn't prepared, and I think RSN knew that. RSN knew that I hadn't been a streamer. Like, I wasn't streaming. I'm still not very, very good at streaming. But long story short, that's kind of how I relate to the aftermath. And like I said, again, I'll reiterate this. Dee and his whole situation is a lot different than mine. I have my own opinions about that, but I'll keep those to myself for like right now. I just don't want to like offend anybody or anything like that. Hey Harvard. She said, I'm sorry I'm late. I hope I didn't miss much. Oh no, just like some backstory that probably is triggering. But regardless, like, RSN causing pain and using someone else's like situation or innocence, I guess, to streaming, and knowing he was coming on my channel to allow my channel to take the hit of what he should have posted, either taking accountability for it, talking about, you know, whatever he needed to talk about. It was not something that he should have ever done and like called me for. So that's how I kind of relate to that situation. I was filling you in a little bit there, Harvard. Well, just know we don't blame you for ever having been around RSN. We love you and your channel is way better. Oh, thank you so much. Like, honestly, that means the world to me. Like, I just truly regret a lot of 2019. It was just, girl, calm down. But, you know, all I can do at that point from that situation is learn, try to take responsibility where I can, and do better. And that's what I feel like every creator who makes a mistake that isn't like illegal, you know, like something that really, really is illegal, which he did a lot of illegal things on multiple occasions to a lot of people. So, I don't know. But the thing is, like with me, I just want to do better. I don't want to react like poorly, and I don't want to ever go on like Twitter rants again, because, dude, I look back on some of my tweets and I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? Hey, Heaven and Frank. Oh, sorry. I'm all reading. Hi, Cloudy. But yeah, so we're going to move on, and we're going to start the little video. Now, I am going to pause it and give my feedback. So yeah. Oh. You know what I noticed about me though, guys? I'm like really long-winded when I talk.
Are unaware of who Real Stream News is, and you've been brought here from another community, another side of YouTube, simply because of the notoriety of the individual involved in this statement, let me give you some backstory. So, from what I understand, Real Stream News is someone who created a channel on YouTube and garnered a following by stealing content. Not only that, but it became very apparent rather quickly that this was someone who was engaging in inappropriate behavior through messages with females, pestering them, persistently messaging them even after they've said, stop. He engaged in inappropriate behavior with someone who was married, who denied his advances, and yet he persisted. Most notably, Real Stream News is someone who has extended an offer to a young woman to come and work with him on his channel. This is what you would consider to be a business offer.
So I do want to let you guys know that I did not know of this situation that I think he's referring to, with flirting with somebody, like, I didn't know about that whole situation. I do know that he does ask for like photos and stuff like that. That's a whole other story, a whole other thing. But I do know of the situation that he's referencing now. I'm going to keep names and stuff not talked about on my channel just due to the safety and privacy of that individual. I like to have permission before I try to address a situation because I just don't feel that it's right, especially when it regards such a sensitive topic. I do want to say though that like this will be in the description box below for you guys, as well as go and like up his stream, his video. He has really good commentary on the Onision stuff. I do believe that he's still going to cover it, but I could be wrong. But basically right now he's giving you his like perspective and his update, which a lot of it is absolutely 100% true. Like the things that had happened during this situation were angering, like literally. I don't even know really how to articulate this without getting upset physically, like physically getting upset. But I just want to say, like, if you ever meet a content creator and you feel uncomfortable and you've asked to either stop flirting with you or stop, you know, pestering you in DMs and they don't listen, or they are pressuring you for something, or any person on the internet, regardless being content creator or not, report their account, obviously, if you can. Take proof, like screenshot the proof, and cease all communication with said individual, because like I said earlier, the internet is a really, really bad place at times, and people like this lurk and they wait for opportunities to take advantage of either their position with followers or so on and so forth. And it's just one of those things. I thought that if you're new to this, if you are experiencing it now, and if you need any help, I will link a few resources when this video is done in the description box for you for your cyber harassment. Any sort of hotlines that I can link that are similar to this topic, I will link them as well. And just reach out to them, because your voice is your most powerful asset in situations like this. And although bad things do happen on the internet, it is something that kind of like, if we reach out sometimes, we can get help before bad things happen. Now, like I said, bad things happen regardless. And unfortunately, in this situation referenced, it was absolutely horrible. RSN did make it seem like it was a business proposition, and the way he handled it and giving the alcohol to an underage minor was absolutely just illegal, wrong, horrible. He took advantage. It was something that it's really hard to talk about for me because it's so triggering, but I just wanted to just let you guys know that I will link those things for you guys below. This for me is really, really triggering to hear all over again, because it's just so horrible, and how he abused his, I guess, platform to get to this said individual, and how he like continued to pressure and harass. But we'll get into more of his opinion on that as well for you guys, if you guys aren't familiar.
I can totally see why this individual accepted the offer. I understand. But the thing that is quickly forgotten is the fact that YouTube personalities are YouTube personalities. They're people. They're not professionals. They're not in a work environment. And you will be very lucky, in my opinion, to find someone who conducts themselves in a professional manner in their downtime. Inevitably, what happened is Realstream News was firing off text message after text message to this girl, telling her she was so attractive, blah, 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 wanting to see what kind of response he would get, and yet she chose not to respond. She chose not to respond because the only response she was going to be able to give was a negative response. Hey, stop, I'm not interested, I don't find you attractive, I'm not interested in you, yada, yada, yada. She quickly notes in the stream they did after the incident occurred.
I want to go over something here. When anybody, male, female, whatever you identify as, says no, No means no. It does not mean try harder. It does not mean maybe. It does not mean try to get them to say yes. No means no. So I just want to make that very clear here, that if anybody didn't understand it, they should definitely understand that no means no. It does not mean try harder.
Heard that the reason she chose to ignore the text messages rather than to respond to them and say, no, I'm not interested, is because she didn't want to lose the opportunity to come out and work with him on his channel. That is an authentic fear. That is a very genuine fear, especially if you are someone who prizes this opportunity. And I think that, honestly, could be used to compare to what some women go through in the workplace. You know, you've been given this great...
So here I kind of want to address something that I observed with RSN. Okay, so when I had asked RSN for a collaboration, not knowing the details of this situation, he, at that point, I don't think that he knew that I was married at that point, because I hadn't posted, like, I didn't allow, like, I don't know, it's not that I didn't allow, I just didn't, my content wasn't, like, totally driven around my family. So I was getting to know RSN via Twitter DM, and I was discussing the video ideas that I had, because that's a question that he asked me, and I noticed something about his Twitter DMs that I thought would be relevant to mention. He was very paranoid on if I was the real me, like if HeartBeatsVanity on the channel was me on my Twitter. So he said to me, and this isn't verbatim, but he said basically he wanted me to prove that I was actually me. So at that point, I had sent him, he wanted to, like, I guess have a voice chat, and basically we exchanged numbers because I was very naive at the time on how the whole YouTube situation worked, and I didn't know his behavior on harassing women or texting them or anything like that. So I thought this was normal. Like, I thought this was something, like I said, only a couple 100 subscribers, still new, didn't know what to do, and like I prefaced, 2019 was a big learn about how to keep yourself safe on the internet year for me. Well, in the text messages he wanted to, and I thought we were going to FaceTime. I thought it was going to be like just a quick, yep, this is me, cool, but then it turned out he didn't have an iPhone. So long story short, he's like, okay, so just send me a quick selfie. So I sent him a selfie of neck above, and he was just like, yeah, cool, it's definitely you. I'm like, yep, it's me, you know, the HeartBeatsVanity girl, cool. And he complimented my appearance, and after that compliment I said, hey, you know, thanks for the compliment, but I do want to let you know that I am married and I'm happily married. I didn't know if you knew this because, like I said, didn't have my husband on my channel that much. It seems like he took offense to it slightly, which is something that often happens when that interaction, obviously it being an awkward response, because I'm sure he didn't know, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But a lot of the time, like, I have noticed when a girl kind of like says thanks, but I'm also seeing someone, they do get a little offensive. So a couple of hours or days go by, and he asks me he's like, you should send me another selfie. And at this point, that's when I got truly weirded out. It's like, I was like, but I already proved to you who I was. I already proved that I am me, the HeartBeatsVanity. So at that point, I feel like he didn't take me seriously when I said, like, you know, hey, thanks for the compliment. Like, I wasn't trying to be awkward about it, but here, you know, here's some facts about me. And it made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't want to, I guess, mess up the ideas that we had going on for a collaboration. So I didn't outright say it to him, like, at that second time around. Like, I was just like, yep, here's a, you know, moving, messy hair, cool. Don't want that to seem like I'm fishing for a compliment. I tried to hint at him, like, I'm not fishing for a compliment. I don't know if you remember, if you just deleted your text messages. Those are my thoughts. Like, and to me, I felt just kind of like backed into a corner that I didn't want to make this guy mad because I wanted to eventually execute the, you know, ideas that we had. And that was my first like red flag that I should have just stopped the communication. That's why I said, if somebody pressures you or is being weird and you know, has these moments with you and you have that gut feeling inside where you're like, this is weird, I don't like this, you know, instead of just trying to subtly like say and respond the way that I did by saying like, oh, hey, thanks for the compliment. I should have just said, I have a husband. But at that time, it was such a weird, like, two different sides because, like, often guys can get offended. But then he kind of did, and it made me weird. So I was like, oh, God. And then he asked again, and I was just like, I didn't know how to be like, no, like, I already proved myself to you. If you don't have it, then we're not doing the collaboration. Instead, I was thinking of, like, obviously the collaboration. So I relate in this situation, not as drastically and as horribly, but I do relate to what's being said in Didi's stream.
Opportunity in your career, and yet the boss who has extended this opportunity is making inappropriate sexual advances. So I think that realistically this is something that happens quite often, and I think this is an occurrence that a lot of people can sympathize with. So she chose not to respond to those text messages, but there was other conversation occurring about the channel, about yada yada yada. So inevitably, he gets her a ticket, he flies her out, they get a hotel room. This girl is 20 years old. She's underage. Well, she can't drink yet. He plies her with alcohol, and later that night, when the camera was cut off and the streaming was concluded, he proceeds to make persistent sexual advances. The girl says no twice, and he proceeds to do whatever it was that he did. The following day, in another stream, he forces his victim to stream with him in an attempt, in my opinion, to clear his name publicly.
So I want to mention here that I did not see this stream, but I do believe, and I could be wrong, I do believe the original stream happened on YouNow. I have seen it after the fact. I didn't see it the day it was happening, so I did see it after the fact. And because of what Arson does with false copyright strikes, which he has actually false copyright struck Didi's channel because of his commentary, it was completely TOS safe, the commentary that he did. He did not take like an entire video. He just commentated on specific parts of the video. Well, because RSN does do that, I cannot play that video, but I also, for another reason, for me personally, I am scared to play such a vulnerable moment when there's other channels that have played this in an appropriate way that are not taken down. So there's a few videos that I want to link, or content creators I want to tell you guys about if you don't already know. Medium Rare did an extraordinary and extensive 2-part series a couple of months ago on this whole situation in great detail with many people in an interview style type series regarding a lot of what had happened. And I will link those for you guys below if you haven't already seen them. I think they're very informative on particular actions and reactions and personal experiences that Didi is referencing right here. It's just something that I really think, like, going into it, if you haven't seen it before, you should watch it. And if you're interested in making your own opinion about this, which I feel like you wouldn't be here if you weren't, but it's something that I would check out.
However, what she concedes to, admits to, whatever, what he agrees to, is the fact that she had never said, I'm attracted to you. She had never made any advances. She had never given him any type of signal that would warrant the advances that he persisted with after she said no. She states, I said no twice, and he sits there and nods along. This is someone who doesn't understand the concept of no. But it's not that simple, actually. He knows what no means. He knows he should have stopped, but he knew what he wanted and he didn't want to stop. He robbed this individual of her bodily autonomy, and that is disgusting to me. After forcing her to do the stream or whatever, he rides off into the sunset with his grandmother, who came and picked him up, and, they proceeded in a high-speed getaway. And The rest is notorious. You can look it up online. I myself had a video up in which I provided evidence to back up every one of these claims that I'm making, but of course Realstream News saw it best to strike that video down. But you can find similar videos on Medium Rare. That's a YouTube channel.
And there you go. He's referencing the same channel that I did. Let me look at the chat really quick. Sabrina said RSN is I can't say that word, but I do agree with you. That's one no too many. RSN, I agree. Absolutely agree. A girl should only have to say no once. And I absolutely 100% agree. Like, never under any circumstance should anybody be forced in a situation to say no twice, or even have to think about saying no twice. And to me, then taking an opportunity to stream and talk about some of the things that he has since then, which I won't go into too much detail because there's so much information in Medium Rare's series that explain it a lot better than I ever could. But it's just, the whole situation is absolutely so disgusting and horrible that it is, I don't know how he is still roaming around and not in jail. I do know that there are some, I don't know if they're like rumors, but there's been some talk of reopening of an investigation on that, but I can't be for sure, so don't take my word verbatim because I don't know. I've only heard things. But the thing is the reason I ever began to stream about, I guess, this whole situation and his actions and many different types of things with some friends of mine that had been hurt by him, not this said individual, but the ones that were, at least one of the ones that were on the revenge porn, was because I thought, like, with all of the things that had been going on and all of the things that had happened in the past, how can I, like, live with myself, not trying to bring awareness to as many people as possible of his actions if I couldn't, like, put him away in, like, jail, you know, like, and magically snap my fingers, like, at least I can do this to help out. And although I do regret some of my reactions to some things, like on Twitter, that I was wrong with. I don't regret, like, my, I guess, intention to help during that situation with the revenge P stream. And so it's just, to me, at least this is getting coverage in a way that can potentially help get justice. And justice, it may not solve everything, it may not take away the pain, it may not change the past, but it still feels good to know that this said individual who did these actions, especially, I'm sure, in, like, my experience, pays legally. And I just really hope that that is the end result in this situation. Unfortunately, in the United States, there's a lot of cases that do not get justice, and it's a broken system a lot of the time. But I really hope that in this situation it is taken care of and justice is served, because the said individual who went through this particular experience absolutely deserves peace of mind, to stop being harassed on videos, which RSN harasses the said individual and almost every single said individual he's ever hurt. This one in particular for the longest, almost weekly, sometimes even every other day type of stuff. And he'll send messages, and it's just really, really bad. So I really do hope that at some point, like soon, so this person can release this, some of the pain. I know it's never going to take away it all, but some of the pain and some of the, I'm sure, fear and stuff, release it and just take a breath and try to heal and, stuff like that. And it's just such a, I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's just such a horrible situation to actually go through, and like trying to put myself in that position. I don't even know what I would do. So I'm just happy that particular people are trying to bring awareness, even though their channels are being struck unfairly, and RSN is abusing the copyright claims TOS system. That at least his intentions to bring awareness to that were there. You know what I mean?
That has that stream up. You can find similar videos on April Already or Masked Babe's YouTube channel. It's available. Just if you want to go in there objectively and unbiased, don't listen to their personal opinions or perspectives. Just watch the clips of his stream that they include. After all of this occurred, he proceeded to dox people's nude images that were sent to him in private, or rather were posted to his not safe for work Discord server. Why would you even have that? So he took those that were posted somewhere privately where only a select group of individuals could see it and made them available to the public in one of his live streams because he had gotten 50...
I also want to correct something here. One of the person's photos was taken from that area that I have been made aware of, obviously, but the other person was actually, it was stolen from a whole total different site. And it's just one of those things where he like went out of his way to search for it, knew of a certain like situation going on, and took it, you know, with malicious intent and really creepy intent. I wanted to kind of fix that there. And it's like, I don't know if he has spoken with a said individual, but I just wanted to correct that.
6 dislikes on his live stream, and because of the fact that, you know, someone had made a $40 donation, that was his excuse. People keep disliking this. You know what? I get a $40 donation and I'm going to show you these nudes. And he did. This is a reprehensible human being. This is someone with no morals. No morals. Just careening through society, wreaking havoc on people. I chose to speak out against this person because of the fact that it would be highly hypocritical of me to sit here every day, day in and day out, and talk about Onision, all the while ignoring someone who has infiltrated the quote-unquote anti-Onision community to do the very things that Onision has done. I couldn't ignore it in good conscience.
I think that's really good of Deity to give us detail on that part, because I do want to elaborate here that, yes, RSN has covered Onision for some time, but he's also been quite horrible a good amount of the time while covering Onision and some of the stuff. Like, for example, if you're new to this and you're just showing up to the channel today watching this stream, RSN has taken a picture of Kai. It was like a meme that was drawn, and he placed a phrase under it, which I won't go into much detail on that phrase, but it was a phrase that directly took somebody's pain, particularly Sarah's pain. If you know the whole Onision situation, Sarah was a member of kind of like their household and was allegedly, I have to say this, allegedly groomed. So he basically put that phrase into a different type of phrase and put it on the shirt and was trying to sell it for merch, which is absolutely horrible because it's taking somebody's pain and trying to directly profit off of it in such a malicious way that it's like traumatizing. Like, first off, who would buy that shirt knowing the situation? Second off, what a delusional, like, creep and horrible person to sit there and think that that was something like good in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's horrible to do to somebody. Hey, Princess Megan. How are you doing, girl?
I couldn't ignore it. After seeing the evidence this person has streamed himself, the only conclusion that I could come to is that he is at fault and he is not a good human.
HeartBeatsVanity says he enjoys profiting off of other people's pain. He does. Absolutely. Like, he streams and monetizes and attacks, you know, certain people that are referenced in this video on a daily basis. He profits. He charged $40 because of dislikes that he was getting. He was obsessed with the dislikes, and he charged $40 to release intimate photos that were not his to release. And he did not blur them. He did not, and even if he had blurred them, still not okay. Not okay. at all under any circumstance to take them from anywhere, any site, any situation, to publish them in that way. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind that his channel hasn't been taken down, that he's still free on that and roaming around as a free individual, which blows my mind.
He's just not. Why are we talking about this? Because this individual chose to strike down my video. It is so bizarre to me, and it doesn't put me in a safe space or what have you. Just the fact that here on YouTube, these people can choose to silence you simply because they don't like what you're saying. And what I did was commentary. There is a huge difference between slander and commentary. I was giving my commentary on video footage he streamed himself, that he made available to the public himself. What he is doing to me is slander, because he is pulling things out of thin air, making stuff up, insinuating things, saying things occurred that never occurred. And it just, some people are saying that I should let it go and I should ignore it.
I want to kind of go back over something. Ooh, that's maybe too much. Maybe
he streamed himself, that he made available to the public himself. What he is doing to me is slander, because he is pulling things out of thin air, making stuff up, insinuating things, saying things occurred that never occurred. And it just, some people are saying that I should let it go and I should ignore it. But here's the thing. I have made who I am as an individual very plain on my channel. I have made what I stand.
So I want to kind of go over what he referenced, and I wanted to make sure that you guys actually heard that part, because like sometimes my internet does cut out and I don't know. But like basically there are claims going around against this, deity, which I don't know anything about. But I do know RSN's behavior on making false claims on people. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that donation. My goodness. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, holy crap. That is a lot of money. Like, thank you so much. My God, thank you. I don't even know. This is like the first time this has ever happened, but like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What was I saying? That I'm just like blown away actually right now. Like, somebody please save me from this moment. No, this is amazing. Thank you so much. That was so amazing of you, Michelle. That is literally the coolest thing ever. Like, I've never experienced that before. That is amazing. But so the allegations, the false allegations, I do know this is a RSN typical behavior of RSN. So he has made false allegations against a lot of people with things that he's either taken out of context and claimed as proof. He's straight up just made up lies with no proof, and he's assumed things, or he's set like certain things into motion, or he'll take like clips from things that he's previously recorded and misconstrue them or place them in a way where it somehow goes off of like the narrative he's trying to spin. And it is all in attempts to deflect off of any heat going onto him for his actions. And so that is one of those situations that I can tell you has happened multiple times in the past. And because Deity has spoken out about actions of RSN, he got his channel striked, which inappropriate. RSN is also known for taking people's channels down. He's taken a couple of people's channels down just for... So I think even one of the videos didn't even have anything to do with RSN, but he just struck it anyway. So it's one of those things where I know firsthand, because RSN has made false allegations of like, I won't even give him like attention with me, false allegations. So I don't know. I absolutely do not believe anything that RSN says under any circumstance about people, because I have firsthand experienced it, but I've also witnessed it happen to other people, including Deity now.
And up for very plain on my channel. So the fact that this monster can sit there and really try to dismantle my character.
Leslie says, usually deflection equals guilt, and I completely agree. The fact that his gaslighting techniques involve making up things about people in such a way, it says to me, don't look at me, look at him or her. because that's worse than what I did. Right? 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 You believe it, right? Type 1 in the chat, guys. Type 1 in the chat. You believe it, right? You believe it. And some people actually do.
It infuriates me. But that's what he wants. That's what he wants. To sit there and to hear what he is saying that I have done, to know that these claims are false, and to know who I really am, and to know what I have had to go through as an individual, it's disgusting. And I'm not going to put up, everything I went through here for sympathy. That's not what I'm doing. But the simple fact of the matter is I can't forgive what he's doing or what he's saying, because what he is saying is pulling up these memories of things that I have gone through as a person, and I don't appreciate it. And the thing is, the person who did this stuff to me,
I feel so bad that just because Deity wanted to help spread awareness to Arsen's actions, that he is feeling this type of pain right now. You can literally see it, and it's just so horrible. It is so horrible that Arsen did this to somebody, that took trauma and exploited it and twisted it a little bit. To me, that should never happen to somebody, especially when in such a public way, but even in general, should never happen.
It's just like Arsen, just like him. Understands no, but wants what he wants. True enough, though, in the moment when everything was happening that happened to me, I wasn't as brave as she was. I didn't say no. I didn't say it twice. I didn't say it once. I was frozen. I didn't say anything. And he did what he did to me. So yeah, you're damn right. It fills me full of rage to see what he is saying about me. To question my character when he knows that I have gone online and said that in the South, people say that to you almost all the time, really, just because you are an LGBT person. To sit there and just allow him to say these things, I couldn't do it. Especially in the context of what occurred to me, what happened to me. I just couldn't let him do that. I can't. And it's so stupid, because it's like every time someone messages me on Twitter and says, did you see what Arsen said about you? Every time somebody comments in one of my live streams, every time somebody comments on one of my videos and puts the details of what he's saying about me, it brings up what happened to me every single time. And I am so sick of it. And then some lady had the nerve to say, so now you know how Arsen feels every time someone brings up what he did. But there's a difference. He is lying. And there is video.
Whoever that lady was, what the hell? No, that is completely unrelated. Arsen had a lot of different proof against him for doing that to somebody. So to sit there and try to compare somebody's trauma and pain and Dee Dee's situation to that situation, I don't know, this is my personal opinion. That lady needs to just sit down and maybe not do that again, not say that again. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, but to me that's absurd, because it's like, those are totally different, unrelated situations that she's trying to tie together to make Dee Dee's pain and Dee Dee's feelings somehow not as important, which they are absolutely. What Arsen is doing is taking trauma again, exploiting it, getting views off of it, getting money off of it, and hurting somebody who is healing and trying their best to cope with what had happened to them in the past, what is going on right now. And that to me is just blows my mind. I can't literally sit here and try to sugarcoat this the best way that I can, but without wanting to scream at this lady and Arsen for doing this yet again. To me, it's just good God, stop taking pain and hurting people with it. It's not fair. It's not okay. It's not right. And I'm about to lose my cool. Because to be honest, I understand Dee Dee's position because of what he had gone through, what he had lived through, what he's trying to cope with, knowing that there's somebody else out there that he has a platform that he could have, and he did, bring awareness to actions of a certain individual, makes me want to scream as well, deity. Like, I agree with you on that. I want to scream for what he's done to you. I want to scream for what he's done to other people, to the said individual who he flew out and even had to have to say no twice. I want to scream for that. I want to scream for my friends. I want to scream, for just the fact that he's still free and the fact that he's still getting to stream about this stuff constantly. To me, it blows my mind, and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad because it's like having pain like this exploited, it reopens the wounds, makes it harder, makes PTSD sometimes come into play. It makes you lash out. Sometimes it makes you scared. Sometimes it makes you relive memories. It makes you just all sorts of other things that can go on. And to me, it's just like, he knows he has to. Maybe he doesn't. I'm sure it's wrong. And like, the thing is I don't think he does know it's wrong. I think he literally thinks that this is something that he can commentate on, which is not, it's not okay to hurt people. It's not okay to use people's pain as memes. It's not okay to make up assumptions or lies, allegations, take somebody's past trauma and exploit it. It's not okay to do those things. These are just some of the reasons why he needs to be deplatformed. Just some.
Evidence that supports and backs up what he did to these people. He did it. He did it. But when thinking and taking everything into consideration, the larger implication being that these individuals, they have all the power here on YouTube. They can silence you. They can keep you from making a larger audience aware of what it is they have done, which means that others definitely stand chance to falling victim to the same tactics they used to hurt others. And it's disgusting that YouTube allows this. It's disgusting.
I agree. So there's a lot more in the video. I will link it for you guys below. I do want to end it there though, because I do want you guys to get the full perspective from his video itself and give him the watch time that he deserves, because there's so much more that he goes over that about what he's been going through with RSN, the false allegations, a lot of other things. I do want you guys to go over to his channel and subscribe if you guys want to. Just suggest it, because he has really good Onision content. I know a lot of you guys are here for the Onision content. There's other things I won't really mention, like a couple of his streams. I don't want to mention those. But the thing is what RSN is doing to him, I could not just sit by and not speak the truth, my truth to it, my experience with it, some peace to it, because I have suffered through something similar with RSN. I haven't been struck down by RSN, but I have been harassed by RSN. I have had false allegations made about me by RSN. I have had things taken out of context, and now some things that I regret is obviously ever talking to RSN. There's another, maybe I'll make a video someday, depends on if he probably will react about this, trying to push a narrative. But the thing is 2019 was such a horrible year in so many different ways. One of the worst ways was losing some of the friendships that I was I was building due to the trauma that this said individual was causing, and a lot of my reactions to it. It was not a good year. But I think that with where things are going right now and the awareness being brought by so many different creators, I'll link a few other creators I haven't mentioned in my description box, just to give you guys the most content I can and opinions I can, has changed the way I will see creators forever. It's changed the way that I will reach out for a collaboration or accept collaborations forever. It's changed the way that I even go on the internet. Like, I don't have most of the social media profiles that I used to have because I'm scared to, because I have a family. And I'm grateful for some of the things that I've learned, because looking back on how naive I was with how I was on YouTube and stuff. I am grateful for some of the things I've learned, but I'm also like, wow, that was traumatizing to go through. My trauma does not even compare in any way to RSN's survivors, I guess you could say, like, in any single way. Both of the revenge stream, okay? Like, the revenge porn stream. Both of them, it doesn't compare at all. Especially with the alleged allegations regarding what had happened with the person that he flew out and had an incident with. Not even under any circumstance is my pain or my stress or the harassment I faced from RSN relatable. But I did want to try to, in the best way that I could, bring some awareness and validate at least some people during this situation. If you guys have experienced anything similar to this, don't forget to check the description box below, because like I said, I'll leave you some crisis links. I don't know, I'm going to read the chat for a second and then probably end the stream soon here. Dee doesn't deserve the treatment he's getting from RSN in any way, shape, or form. But he does have some things to sort out. Yeah, like, I believe that to be true as well. And I don't want to, like, sugarcoat my response, but there's some things I won't talk about due to that, because it's just like, I couldn't understand that position. Like, I couldn't understand what goes on behind the scenes with certain topics. But I agree with you, Professor. Harvard, I miss you on Discord. Guys, if you want to join my Discord, I have the link in the description box for you guys below. Come talk and chat with me. It'd be cool to talk to some of you guys in there. I know some of you guys are already in there, which is awesome. It's not like a super popping Discord, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like we are chatting all day, every day, but it's fun when we get to chat, and it's really, really a nice way to connect. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you guys want to stick around for any more content. I'm going to try to be posting more lighthearted content for the rest of, I think, this upcoming week. And if Chris Hansen has, obviously, a stream, I will do the reviews for you guys, or the highlights for you guys. But after that, I mean, I feel like I said all I could say in this stream. I don't know if I'm going to keep the stream up. I'll think about it, because there's so much said. But I don't know. I'll see. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you again for that donation, Michelle. That was amazing. I'm going to put it towards the channel and actually prove it to you, unlike some people, like Arsene, for example. I don't know. I have a mic stand I need to get, so... Because I'm literally just sitting here with my mic, like... I don't even have a mic stand, so that's gonna go to that, and that's gonna be really cool to have, because then maybe you guys will hear me better. But thank you again so much for that as well, and thank you to all the support I've been getting in the chat. It's really nice not to feel so alone, and it is really nice to see your guys' opinions as well. I truly value your guys' opinions. Despite what they are, I value them, because that's what a community is just having different opinions and being able to have a conversation without having any harassment or anything like that, you know what I mean? So it's very, don't ever be hesitant to leave a comment of what you think and, you know, what you actually feel and everything like that, because, like, I'm not gonna lash out at you or get upset with you or call you out in the middle of a stream. Like, I will take it into consideration and try to see your point of view depending on, like, what the content of the comment is. Like, I'm not going to call it out if it's, like, really inappropriate, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do anything like that, but I may not just, like, respond, but wow, I'm a rambler. I ramble a lot, don't I? Anyway, have a good night, guys, and kiss the stars.